On February 9th of 1964, over 73 million people tuned into The Ed Sullivan Show. That was the night that the Beatles made their debut in America. It's hard to pinpoint exactly how a band gets their success, but it probably had a lot to do with the fact that they were part of the British invasion, which was a lot of bands that were coming over, like the Rolling Stones, the Who, and the Beatles. And it was rock music that was nothing like what was going on in the 60s until they came. A lot of it probably had to do with the fact that they were so controversial. They were always ahead of their time in the way that they perceived themselves and the way that they did their music. Paul McCartney, one of the band members, actually thinks that their success came from their hairstyles. That's what got people noticing them. That's what made women and kids want to watch the Ed Sullivan Show, because they had this long hair that nobody in America, men didn't have that. That wasn't a normal thing for men to have. And it was a big deal for its time. The Yesterday and Today album was originally the Butcher album, and instead of just the four of them, they were all wearing butcher coats, and they had dismantled baby parts all around them, which was a very controversial for its time. That was not something that was socially acceptable or politically correct. And they recalled the albums and they put new covers over them, and it became the Yesterday and Today album instead of the Butcher album, and it has songs like Nowhere Man and Yesterday. And Yesterday has actually been covered by over 2,000 various artists. A mint condition Butcher album with the original cover on it in 1996 sold for $38,000. Another big album for the time was Abbey Road, and it was in the later 60s, towards the end of the band's career, and it had songs like Come Together and Here Comes the Sun, and a lot of the big hits for the Beatles. They actually spent over 1,200 weeks altogether on music charts. They had a great career, and they were on top of the music world. And it's hard to pinpoint how somebody gets that much success, but it probably has to do with the fact that they were so ahead of their time and so controversial. It made people notice them, and people still know who they are today, even people that weren't even born when their music came out. So I think it's because they were so different than anything anyone had ever saw.